Some videos have been making the rounds around Instagram and on YouTube. Actually, I think it's the Point of View channel. Give that dude some credit because it looks like people have been stealing his stuff. But I think I know what those are, and I'll give you a hint. And you're like, haha, of course, obviously. Nobody's denying that it's like a Corey. I mean, besides the people saying that it's natural, which there's no way. But what for? The obelisk is obvious. Kind of rhymes. But these aren't. Are they just blocks that are going to be stacked on each other? That kind of doesn't make sense because they're a bunch of irregular shapes. What happens when you measure those shapes? Has anybody thought to take a protractor and figure out the geometry of those blocks? If one were to do that, they might find that a lot of those angles are divisible by 20 degrees. What does that mean? Well, a culture that is megalithic and based primarily around effigies, they're going to be making giant flippin' effigies. It seems symbolism was one of the most important things to this culture. And they packed a bunch of symbolism inside of each other. It was like one thing, one shape contained multiple symbols. But it seems sacred geometry is very much a part also. In fact, that's how we can generally identify it and prove it to be legit. Nobody ever thought to measure natural stones. Why would you? They're natural. But when you attempt to geometrically measure any measurable angle you see in nature that is seeming to do with stone, you find that they all fall on the 20s. So either who created the simulation was lazy, or there's an ancient culture out there who had a lot to do with stone, and they required a very strict adherence to a geometric standard, because in that standard was their symbolism. I invite everyone who's listening to this to follow my series on YouTube that I'm doing where I explain exactly how to identify this culture. And when you're actually able to understand the details of it, you'll be able to verify all these things that I'm saying. In fact, most of you have handled this stuff. You just didn't know.